Well, good evening, everybody. This is the Weather Monkey. I'm currently south of Winona, Minnesota, between the city and Interstate 90 on County Road 21. I'm looking southeast at complex of thunderstorms moving this way, although there has been some hail reported with these storms. It's been a while since I've been able to stream. So I thought I would come out and do a stream tonight and see what actually develops. I came out here earlier and there was just no convection. I mean, there were some clouds, but they weren't building, and things were flattening out pretty quickly. But now that the sun is setting, these storms are starting to become a little bit more impressive. Once again, I am the Weather Monkey. And like I said, I wasn't really doing anything this evening anyway, so I thought I would come out and check out a couple thunderstorms that were developing. What I think I'll do is I'll head down the road here a little bit. After this car goes by, we'll head on 43 south to the interstate, and then once I get to the interstate, I'll kind of make my mind up where I want to go from there. If you're new to my stream, I'd like you to subscribe and also hit that like button. Like buttons are the most important thing on a stream to get more people watching. So like I said, we'll head south here. Kind of meet up with this cluster of thunderstorms that are moving this way. Like I said, there's nothing really heavy with large hail and frequent lightning at this time, but there is some C to G lightning, cloud to ground lightning that we can keep an eye on. Also, the road in front of my house isn't finished yet, so if it's going to hail, I want to be in an area where I can avoid it, since I can't get my car in the garage. So we'll go up here about another mile and park, face east, watch these storms come up from the south. I know, like I said, I hadn't streamed for a while, and I did come out here earlier, thought maybe there'd be a little activity, and it kind of fell apart. And I went home, turned YouTube on, watched a little bit of YouTube, checked the radar, and I'm like, well, you know what? There's a little bit more activity starting to develop. The sun's starting to set. I'm sure the lower jet is starting to pick up. So I'm going to go out and see what I can observe. This is looking straight west. So I'll turn in this parking lot here and go over by the county sheriff and watch these storms. Because I'm sure that's just what he's doing. watch from here for a minute. Yeah, I forgot to hit my automatic start-stop button. Turn it off. It's so aggravating. You go to put your vehicle in park and it shuts off before you get it into park. And then you put it in the park and it starts right back up again. Dumbest invention I've ever heard of. So, looking at where I'm at now, I could probably move a little bit farther east, as these storms, as you can see, are kind of curling right around me where I'm at. I hope everybody's had a good fall so far, even though fall doesn't really start till, one was leap year, 2 years ago. Fall start tomorrow or the next day. Depends on when leap year was. If it was leap year, it's earlier, and then before leap year, it's later. So it's 20th or 21st, or can be early on the 19th too. But anyways, this weekend fall starts. That's the easy way to put it. So there is a little bit heavier returns just to the south of Interstate 90, a little bit southeast of me. So, like I said, we'll keep an eye on this, and maybe I'll move and go a little farther east. With these trees in the way, it's kind of a bad spot to be in. So I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll turn and go a little bit farther east, a little bit farther south. Probably not a bad idea if I would go sit up on the overpass over Interstate 90. But we shall see here in a minute. Yeah, it's probably been a good month and a half since I've actually been out chasing. There were a couple times I attempted to go out and chase, and I had technical problems. Well, there wasn't a whole lot going on anyways, but I had technical problems with the battery on my laptop. I hope that doesn't happen again today. And it wouldn't shut my stream off. So I ended up just deleting the stream. There wasn't that much going on. So somebody's sitting here with their car. I don't know what they're doing. I'm actually a little bit too far forward now. If I want to sit here, I need to go back on the bridge. So let me go up here, basically do a complete U-turn and come back. Okay, so now I don't get it. So now my battery's run down and it's gone into like a limp mode. I don't understand it. It's like it won't charge fast enough. So now it's kind of like in a limp mode. Let me park right here. If I'm not moving it, it won't be as bad. I think what I'm going to find a way to do is get a battery pack that plugs right in. You think it would charge enough to sustain itself? But apparently it doesn't. It's a 400 watt inverter. So you think that would be enough to keep it charging. So do I close out of my radar and close out of my location and just run the software? Or maybe that's my problem too. Maybe I should run a different software and maybe it doesn't take as much power. It's hard to tell. Like I could probably take my phone out and just stream off my phone and get a better picture. Because I had a 50% charge earlier tonight. And I didn't plan on coming out and streaming, so I didn't let it charge up to 100%. Apparently I should have. I don't even know if this stream will quit now. Because when I've had it in this position before, I've went to end the stream and it won't end. Because the battery's going dead. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit the radar. I'm going to quit the location and see if that helps. So goodbye weather-wise. Goodbye location. So we can take this and move it, make it a lot smaller, and just set it up here. Make or 12 volt, whatever, 110 watts, 110 volts. That you'd think would be enough, but obviously it's not. And I've also got it plugged into the vehicle, which has a 400 watt inverter. don't know if turning off my rear camera would help or not. At this point, I probably should just unplug it. See if I can remember which one it is. Which cable. Just unplug my rear camera. I think this is the rear camera here. If it isn't, you'll know real quick. Yeah, so I unplugged, so now I've only got one camera, my front-facing camera on. I unplugged my rear camera, I disconnected the radar, I disconnected locations, services. So now all I'm running is the front camera, the microphone, and of course the software. Suppose I can check my battery and see what the voltage is on it. It says 6%. We'll see if that goes up. So we're getting a pretty good rain shower now. So we're at exit 248, I think. Interstate 90, exit 248. Not 100% sure. It's 247, 248, something like that. It's straight south of Winona, Minnesota. And these storms are coming up out of southeast Minnesota. These storms actually developed in Waukon, Iowa area. It started moving north through Caledonia, up through Houston, Minnesota. And now they're impacting Winona County. And from what I can see, they have weakened a little bit. I was gonna go east, but actually the majority of the development is now to the west. also darken my screen a little bit to see if that will help. If you're just joining me, this is the Weather Monkey. I'm in southeast Minnesota, actually south of Winona, Minnesota. I believe it's mile marker 248. Exit of Interstate 90. I know what the bridge number is. 85839. Look that up, you'll know right where I'm at. So I shut off the radar, I shut off my location services, I shut off my rear camera. I guess if things really got going here, my next step would be to just use my iPhone. Start a new stream with my iPhone. If you have just joined me, don't forget to subscribe. And of course, if you can hit that like button, that'd be great. Shut off my. So I'm just checking now to see if my stream's running. Apparently it is. Seems like the battery's starting to take a little bit better charge too. It's not as glitchy as it was when I first started. like I was saying earlier, it's been a while since I've streamed. Hasn't been much going on for the last month. We had that cool down in August, and really there was nothing going on during that entire cool down, and then it warmed up this last week, and most of the storm action has been out in North South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. Hasn't been a whole lot going on around here. But this humid air has been locked in here for about a week now, and there is a cold front out to the west with a low pressure system, and it's starting to trigger some storms in southeast Minnesota. Right now we're actually in one of those bands of rain that's coming up out of southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa, and western Wisconsin, with a stationary front located from the Twin Cities area down through La Crosse over towards Madison. So I hope everybody's having a decent Friday night. I couldn't think of anything better to do than just come up here and watch a thunderstorm roll through. lot of traffic on the interstate. Looks like there's more traffic going eastbound than there is westbound. But it's moving along pretty good. The rain isn't that heavy right now. We're actually right here about 550 feet above the Mississippi River Valley. I just saw an Amazon truck go by. That reminds me, I was supposed to get an Amazon delivery today. I never got a notification that I got it. Let's see if I can check that here. Simple fact that I'm not using weather-wise right now. I don't have to leave my phone connected to the storm chaser mode. So let's see here. Arriving today, it says. We'll see if I got it. It hasn't been delivered yet. It's supposed to be here today. It's almost 7:45 Central Time. But I don't see that it's been delivered. Interesting. I mean, it's just a little baby ring. It's not that big of a box. It's for my granddaughter's 1-year birthday. Which is this weekend, and we're having the first birthday party tomorrow afternoon. I think that's my 8th grandchild. So my youngest is a year, grandchild is a year, and my oldest is, I'm not sure if he's driving yet or not. So he's either 15 or 16. For some reason I think he's 16. Okay, so the rain's starting to pick up a little bit again. And there is more showers and thunderstorms moving this way. And my stream is starting to smooth out a little bit, which means that I'm probably getting a little bit more battery charge. But if I charge my battery up 100%, it only lasts me an hour and a half, 2 hours till it drains down. That's not going to do me any good either. So I'm going to have to find a battery pack that I can plug in and keep the charge up. Not just keep it charging, but keep the charge up. Or maybe use a different software to stream with. Use a web-based software instead of an app. Maybe that'll make a difference. Now, one of these storms south of here it's probably sitting on the Iowa-Minnesota border as a special weather statement. And it's moving this way. Wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour and half-inch hail. Radar indicated. And that was 5-6 minutes ago. So we'll see. Don't want to see the half-inch hail, but if I have enough warning, I can get away from it. I can reposition out of the hail. So that package from Amazon, it's probably so small, the guy doesn't even realize it's still on the truck. That's what I'm guessing. Probably left it on there and called it a day and never saw it. Get on the interstate and go to the next exit. The only problem is it's a lower exit and there's trees all around it. But the way it looks right now, that might be one option. Another option would be to take Highway 12 east. I think that's what I'm going to do. That way I can end up in Wautoka, Minnesota. And I can sit there and I don't have to worry about getting off the interstate farther down. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll go down here, make a U-turn, go back up north about a quarter mile and head east from there. In the daytime, it's always more interesting when you're moving, but at nighttime it can be kind of boring because you really can't see anything. This guy's been sitting down here in this car. He's got help. I get out and ask him if he needs anything, but he's got 2 other cars sitting there with him. So I don't know what they're doing. So we'll head over here and then we'll make a right turn. And my feet's still a little jitterish, but it's getting better. So I'll get on Winona County 12 here at Minnesota 43 and I'll head eastbound. It parallels the interstate. was up here one time last year, and there was a really good thunderstorm, and I was on this road. It worked out pretty good. I've got brand new tires on the vehicle. I bought Cooper, of course. Why would I buy anything else? By the way, my name is Joe Cooper. So anyways, I bought some Cooper tires. I was decided between the Falcon Wild Track and the Cooper Road and Trail. They're a 235 65 R17, of course. And they were within $5-10 of each other, so the price wasn't going to change that much. But I heard the Cooper was a little bit lighter tire and got a little bit better mileage. It rolled easier on the road. And I don't know if it's just me or if this is possible. But when I got the new tires on, first thing I did was I turned the wheel to go around a corner, and I'm like, wow, that took less effort. And of course, you got power steering. You're not really going to notice it, but I could notice it. The turning seemed to be easier on the steering wheel. I didn't expect that, but they're a nice tire. They're quiet, even though they have an aggressive tread. And the tire company I bought them from had $100 off Labor Day weekend. Any set of 4 tires. So I'm like, well, that's interesting. It's not buy 3, get 1 free, but it's still $100. And then, if you signed up for their credit card, you got another $80 off. Well, they were at $180, right? Okay, that's about what a tire costs. So it's basically the same thing. Buy 3, get 1 free. And then it also had a rebate from Cooper, separate from everything else, for $70 off. So basically, it got $250 off. And of course, like I said, it was a tough decision between the Falcon Wild Peak and the Cooper Road and Trail. But I like the Cooper Road and Trail because of its sidewall construction. A little bit better than the Wild Peak. And this is on a Bronco Sport. So you want a little beefier sidewall because it is supposedly an off-road vehicle. Although, I don't know who would take it off-road. But, in the wintertime up here in southern Minnesota, up here in the north, you got a little bit more aggressive tire going into winter. It might get you out of a few jams. So that little bit more of aggressiveness, I thought maybe I would like. So that's why I bought the Cooper tire. But in rain like this, a brand new tire, no matter whose it is going to do much better than a tire with 45,000, 50,000 miles on it. So in a minute here, we'll come up on Watoka. Like I said, the interstate is off to my right. And as I anticipated, the rain would get a little heavier. And it has. So we'll see if there's a spot up here we can sit and observe the storm. the interstate are moving along a little slower right now. I don't know what they're doing with that trailer there. Incident command? I'm assuming it's just parked there because I don't think there's anything going on. Not to my knowledge, anyways. But it's a nice trailer, and on the front it's got a couple cameras, telescoping stand. Yeah, who knows what it's for. But it's a nice trailer. So we'll go out here. A little farther, and then we'll park before we leave this asphalt shoulder. Which looks like it's about right here. So it's raining pretty good again. Right now it's probably the heaviest the rain's going to be right through here for a little bit, and then it's going to lighten up, and then it's going to start up again. Like I said, this is the Weather Monkey. If you're watching, thank you. It'd be great if you could hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, that'd be helpful also. Like I said, there's not a whole lot or any severe weather out of this system. And it's been a while since I've chased, so I just thought I'd get out and give my equipment a run through, and of course I did find a bug. That for some reason my battery wants to discharge quickly, even though I have it plugged into a 400 watt inverter. It doesn't want to keep up. I'm going to have to read up on the battery in the MacBook Pro and find out why that's happening. And possibly have to buy a battery and install it, a new battery in the MacBook, or buy a battery that you can just plug right in that's takes the place of the 400 watt inverter. I'm not sure. Because it had like a 60% charge when I started, and it took about a half hour for that to run down, and that shouldn't happen. It didn't happen earlier in the year, in the middle of the summer. I'd have a full charge, I could drive for 4 or 5 hours, and that battery would stay charged. So I'm not sure what's going on. So there's another cell about 15, 18 miles south of me. That's going to come right over. Wait for that one. Matter of fact, I'm going to move up a little bit, another couple miles. I know there's a perfect place to park. So I'll move up to that spot. And we'll see what happens from there. As you can see, it's raining pretty good. That's why I didn't want to get on the interstate. Strictly a highway tire, and one of the tires, the belt was separating. The belts on the tire were separating, so I didn't want to buy another tire just like the one I had to replace it. So I decided I would just replace all 4 tires. A spot right here for me to pull in. Hopefully there won't be anybody sitting in there. I'm not even sure if I can get in here with the trees and stuff, but we'll see as far as getting a good view. It doesn't look like anybody else is parked up in here. It's just a nice little spot if you wanted to kind of have a little picnic area. You could do it. I'll back up here a little bit and get away from that tree. There. Because there is a tree right to the right. But those lights off in the distance you see over here, those are the ramp lights for the interstate exit. I think that's exit 53? 253? So we'll see here. I'm gonna check and see if my battery's charged anymore, since I've turned the brightness down and shut off my radar, shut off my location services, shut off my web browser. We'll see if it's made a difference. It's raining pretty good, and of course the lightning. I'd like to get a little bit more lightning in the stream, but I can't make it lightning. I can't make it rain either. But let me check my battery, see if it's increased in. See, was that? It's still going down. It was at 6, now it says it's at 2. Makes no sense. It's plugged in, it's charging, but it says it's at 2%. See if it just happens if I just turn it off. So that special weather statement is still posted to the south of here, which was posted at 7:45. So it's been 20 minutes. It still says half-inch hail and 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. They haven't updated it. So we're looking pretty much straight east here across the soybean field. So I am just to the northwest of La Crosse and southeast of Winona. Right where the interstate makes that little hook to go northwest. I believe it's the Houston, Minnesota exit. I've even got my cable plugged into one of the higher USB output. The connector is red where you plug the USB into. A lot of them are blue, some are yellow. Red is the most wattage, I think. Still haven't got my Amazon order for today. And I ended up signing up for Prime because the shipping was $7. So I figured, well, for another $7 I could get Prime for the month. So I did. So, I mean, if I get it tomorrow morning, that's fine. But I was supposed to get it today. Still says out for delivery. Let me refresh it. Well, it says it's close. But normally, if it gets that close, usually you can see where the vehicle is at, how many more stops till it delivers to you. But all it says is we temporarily lost signal from your driver, but your order is still on its way, or on the way. Well, I have a sneaky suspicion I'm not going to see it till tomorrow. And like I said, all it is a little baby ring for my newest granddaughter's first birthday tomorrow. And so So the rain did let up for a minute, and now it's starting to get heavy again. Rain here. A little bit of lightning. There's one more cluster of storms moving north out of Lansing, Michigan, right? Lansing, Iowa area. Coming straight north with a little bit of a west bend to it. So we'll watch that one come through. If you've been watching, you heard me explain. And like I said, it's a 400 watt inverter. And I had it in a 350, plugged into the 350 watt inverter. And it still didn't make a difference. And I'm pushing 13.5 volts. So it's not a voltage problem. Would it make a difference if I just plugged everything into 350 inverter and disconnected it from the vehicle? I don't know. Because the inverter is at 99%, and I'm running my modem out of it, and I'm running my camera out of it. So you'd think that it would still be enough to keep the laptop charged. Either that or that battery's just shot in the laptop. Why it would be shot, I don't know. So it's pretty much quit raining for right now. But I think it's going to start up again in a few minutes by looking at the radar. I know there's not a whole lot going on here. Like I said, I just wanted to get out and get a stream out. For the simple reason I haven't done one in quite some time. So that's what we're doing tonight. There's not a whole lot going on. I was thinking maybe we can get some nice lightning shots and some hail. There's been a couple good lightning strikes, but that's about it. I think in another 20 minutes or so, most of the rain will have moved to the east and north of here. And I really don't see a whole lot of development behind that. There's another line of storms developing just to the east of Albert Lee, probably closer to Austin, Minnesota. But they're also moving pretty much north. Take a look around and see if there's anything going on. It looks like down near Hayes, Kansas, there's a special weather statement, and then there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Try to get the name of this town. I have to put my glasses on. Near Utica, Nebraska. Ransom, Nebraska. Heading towards Nest City. But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on, I don't think. Or it's not Nebraska, I meant Kansas. So central Kansas, north of Dodge City. It's getting a little storm activity tonight, but let's see what they got going on there. Okay, 2-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And they're actually in a severe thunderstorm watch. But up in this neck of the woods, southeast Minnesota, just general thunderstorms. And this, like I said, this will be through here in 15 minutes. turn my screen back on and see if my battery charged any. Now it says it's at 1%. You know what's going to happen? It's going to go dead, and then I'm not going to be able to shut my stream off.